I really love the non-real characters of Thomas. They're all very unique and interesting to me, and I've made a few models of them so far. And here are the remaining two that are due for a video. Here are my custom models of Harold and Bulstrode. These two were completed a long time ago, a little over a year I believe. I don't have any headcanon stuff to discuss with these two. They are basically the same as their official canon counterparts, so we'll just jump straight into how I made them. We'll first start with Bulstrode. Bulstrode was a 3D print I found on Thingiverse. I printed this design in mid to late 2024, and I cannot for the life of me find the designer on Thingiverse anymore. I don't know why, but just know that this is not my design at all, and all I did was adjust the scaling to fit HO00 scale. As if I recall correctly, it was originally made for the Urtel diecasts. And then I got to painting. Very easy process in this case. And all the paints I used were by Apple Barrel. After a clear coat, Bulstrode was done.
That was easy.
Bulstrode was the easier of the two to make. And yeah, it's pretty understandable as to why, it's just one big piece. Harold, on the other hand, oh boy, we are in for a doozy with Harold. Making Harold the helicopter in 00 scale was absolute hell. It all started with this plastic kit I bought on Amazon for like 15 bucks in May 2024. This is the exact spaces of Harold, and I figured it would work perfectly. This kit was very cheap, and the body pieces came out warped. They would not stay together no matter how much glue I used. And I didn't notice at the time, but the glue I was using was just Gorilla Glue, that's a clear kind, is not the right kind of glue at all, as it fogged up the window plastic pieces badly, and many of the tiny details broke by just touching them. After trying multiple days to make it work, I just gave up on the kit, and decided to bite the bullets and fork over the money for a diecast model of Harold's basis. This is a model I've seen other people in the fandom use for realistic Harolds, so I figured it'd be a better candidate. And so I had the model shortly after giving up on the kit, and for about 5 months, the Harold sat in development hell. I eventually got around to painting him around October of 2024. I foolishly brush painted the white paint. This is a big mistake. If you're gonna do this, don't. As white acrylic paint is terrible to work with. It's gloppy and thick, and you always see the brush strokes. The finish just doesn't come out really that good. The lining was also a huge pain in the ass. I tried to make it as even as possible as it curves around and meets at a point on the front. Even then I couldn't get it right. After that, I then painted the gray on the lower half of his body. I personally think Harold's livery in the later Railway series books is his best livery, as there's this thing. Oh yeah, color variety. And so I transferred it onto Harold. I then painted the pontoon things white, and things were finally going right for this project. And then he fucking died. Yeah, Harold fell off my desk, and his pontoons broke off, dramatically so. Thankfully, I was able to just glue them back on, but this really hampered my hopes and motivation for this project, as he then fell off my desk at least 2 more times after this. Harold was ultimately kept on the back burner for a long time, as I was just so done with this project. But eventually, I added some other touches and clear coated Harold. And Harold's windows fogged up very badly. They looked like frosted windows you see in a bathroom. I hated this so much. It wouldn't scrape off at all without scratching the glass. And I eventually was just so done at this point, I just painted over the windows in black and called it a day. And Harold was finally completed around March 2025. Almost a full year since I started him. I'm gonna be honest, I have no interest in redoing Harold at all, despite my many gripes with him. He went through so much hell just to get to this point. Basically, I had to make him while he was kicking and screaming. And I do not want this model falling apart in my hands for the umpteenth time. But that being said, I of course love having a realistic-looking Harold model. He's such a fun character, you know? And I love having him ready for stories and everything. He also completes my collection of the Farquhar characters. So he's essentially that. And it's Harold, you know? Yeah, he's cool. And that, my friends, is how I made Harold and Bulstrode. Despite everything regarding these two, I still like these customs a lot. I've always liked the non-rail Thomas characters. They're really fun to make, and I plan on making more. I hope to eventually make some members of the pack, although that's probably for in the distant future. I'm honestly running out of space for models at the moment, so it might be slow. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all same time next week.